think we have some new technology that could just do self-driving for standard cars way better than any current approach has worked.
I'm surprised. You get paid $76,000, I looked.
I believe you.
And that's it. If the company does have one of these moments, there's an expectation you will get some equity.
There was a bunch of press about that, and there's been like some investor pressure. It is weird that I didn't get equity.
Did you want it? You didn't want it?
No, I didn't want it. If I could go back in time, I would have taken it, just some little bit, just to never have to answer this question. And no matter how many times I try to explain to people, like, I have the most interesting, coolest job in the world. This is like my retirement dream way to spend my time after like what was a pretty good career.
If our AI techniques can like really go drive a car, that's still pretty cool.
Yeah.
Humanoid robots are the dream, obviously. I really care about that. I think we will get there eventually. It's been like a hard mechanical engineering challenge.
That's more the issue?
No, both things are hard. But like, even if we had the perfect brain right now, I don't think we have the body yet. We actually, very early on in OpenAI, we used to work on this robotic hand. And it was hard for all the wrong reasons. Like, the thing just broke all the time. The simulator was like a little bit off.
Wow.
But we'll get there.
Yeah.
I think 5 to 10 years we'll have great humanoid robots.
Yeah.
Like, amazing. And they'll just like walk down the street, be doing stuff.
Yeah, I mean, you would think that's where a huge amount of step change unlocks, right?
I think that will be one of the moments that not only unlocks a bunch of stuff in the world, I think that will feel the strangest.
Yeah.
We get used to a lot of things. We get used to like ChatGPT doing these things that would have sounded like a miracle 5 years ago. But if you walk down the street and it's like half robots, are you going to get used to that one right away? I don't know. Probably you do, but it feels like a big difference.
That's the one that'll feel like there's like a new species taking over.
Important new ideas capable of automating huge amounts of work. But then I feel totally confused about what society looks like if that happens. So I'm like most interested in the capabilities questions, but I feel like maybe at this point more people should be talking about like, how do we make sure society gets the value out of this? I think those questions have somehow become harder and less clear. This is a crazy statement.
Yeah.
That like, we're going to solve the super intelligence, but maybe society still sucks.
Yeah. Yeah, I can't
tell. It doesn't feel right to me, but like,
I can't tell if sometimes with some of these statements that people don't react because they only kind of believe it, and maybe that's part of why. But I agree. I mean, that's what, the history of a lot of this stuff has been. It like gets said, people don't quite believe it, and then it happens, and then people just kind of adjust. So I don't know what to make of all of that either.
I feel like we've been very right on the technical predictions, and then I somehow thought society would feel more different if we actually delivered on them than it does so far.
In the world of artificial intelligence, this is a high-stakes collision between the man who built the future and the one trying to take it back. Elon Musk versus Sam Altman. Two names that helped shape the dawn of AI. Once partners, now rivals. But this isn't some Silicon Valley soap opera. It's a battle for control over the most powerful technology humanity has ever touched. And the way it's unfolding? It might determine who gets to write the rules of our digital future. Elon Musk is suing the company he co-founded, trying to buy it back for nearly $100 billion, and building a competing AI to dismantle everything Sam Altman has done. His message is blunt. If I can't trust you to steer this thing, I'll do it myself. And here's the twist. He might actually pull it off. Because while OpenAI races ahead with closed-door development and investor funding, Musk is making a case for radical transparency, open-source models, and mission-first ethics. If he creates an alternative that's smarter, safer, and more open, it's game over. Not just for OpenAI, but for every player in the AI race who thought control was more important than trust. Sam Altman, on the other hand, isn't backing down. He's calm, calculated, and still shaping the narrative. In public interviews, he talks about OpenAI's mission, its nonprofit roots, and the insane cost of scaling AI responsibly. But make no mistake, his posture is defensive. His tone is personal. Because this isn't just business for him, it's betrayal. You're not watching a tech disagreement. You're watching a philosophical war over what AI should be, and who gets to own it. Musk sees Altman as reckless, profit-driven, untrustworthy. Altman sees Musk as a destabilizing force, obsessed with control, using lawsuits as a weapon to stall progress. These are strategic jabs from two people who know exactly how dangerous the other is. This is not a warning, but an actual possibility. Because if his plan works, if he builds a better system, forces regulatory eyes onto OpenAI, or fractures public trust just enough to shift momentum, this entire industry could pivot overnight. But if he fails, then Sam Altman wins by default. And with that win comes unprecedented power. Power over the most transformative technology on Earth, without the one man who helped start it there to keep it in check. So here's the question. Are we witnessing the future of AI, or the beginning of its collapse under ego, lawsuits, and billion-dollar grudges? This is the new frontier. The gloves are off, and the industry's fate hangs on who finishes their vision first.
Sam, should you have taken Elon's offer?
You refused $1 billion for Elon Musk. What do you want to say to Elon Musk?
Receive what from him?
Almost $100 billion, right?
The company is not for sale, neither is the mission. We're happy to buy Twitter if you want to talk about that.
Wow, okay. Altman made that same message in a post to X, saying he'll buy Twitter for just $9.74 billion.
Elon tries all sorts of things for a long time. This is this week's episode.
You take it seriously at all? What do you think he's trying to drive at with this?
I think he's probably just trying to slow us down. He obviously is a competitor. He's working hard and he's raised a lot of money for XAI, and they're trying to compete with us from a technological perspective, from getting the product into the market. And I wish he would just compete by building a better product, but I think there's been a lot of tactics, many lawsuits, all sorts of other crazy stuff. Now this, and we'll try to just put our head down and keep working.
Does it make it more difficult to move from that non-profit model to that for-profit model for OpenAI?
We're not moving to a for-profit model. We're not sure we're going to do it all, but no matter what, the nonprofit will continue to be extremely important. It will drive the mission. It will continue to exist. The board is looking at lots of options about how to best structure for this next phase, but the nonprofit is not changing in anything or going anywhere. I mean, whether they did or didn't, they built a good model. Many people will distill from many other models. Again, I feel so confident about our research roadmap and also our product roadmap that, DeepSeek will do whatever DeepSeek's going to do. Other people do whatever they're going to do. And we're just going to try to build the best technology we can and get it into people's hands. And I think that's mostly going pretty well.
Do you think Musk's approach then is from a position of insecurity about XAI?
Probably his whole life is from a position of insecurity. I feel for the guy.
You feel for him?
I do, actually. I don't think he's a happy person. I do feel for him.
Okay. Do you worry that he has this proximity to the president and he can influence the decision-making of the US presidency and policies around this agenda on AI?
Not particularly. Maybe I should, but not particularly. I mean, I try to just wake up and think about how we're going to make our technology better.
Sam Altman with Tom McKenzie in Paris. We go to London now. When they walked me in the room and they said, we got a fun thing for you to do. Own YouTube. The first book I read, comment, subscribe by Mark Bergen, cover to cover, inside YouTube's chaotic rise to world domination. Observing OpenAI in Paris is Bergen in London. Mark, what does Macron want out of this? What do European leaders want out of an AI soiree in Paris?
I think they want, in some ways, what they want people like Sam Altman there. He probably wanted Elon Musk there as well. They want big headline numbers, right? Macron kind of gave his version of the Project Stargate. He said 109 billion euros of investment. If you look at the finer points there's a lot of details yet to be filled in, and some of those are over a massive timeline. But I think they want to be seen as relevant, right? I mean, we had the end of that conversation between Tom and Sam Altman about DeepSeek. It's US, it's China. Europe is left out in those conversations.
Mark, on the subject of DeepSeek, which I imagine is looming large over this gathering in Paris, there was a bit of happy talk there from Sam Altman about the fact that all of these different AI companies building their models are going to learn from each other. But as you and our colleagues have reported here, there is some, shall I say, skepticism about the way in which this Chinese company has fashioned this model. What's the latest on that as we kind of learn more about it and how it was fashioned and indeed how much it costs to do?
Yeah, I actually think they were more candid this week than I expected. We saw Demis Hassabis, who runs DeepMind and Google's AI efforts, basically telling us on TV yesterday, I think the cost that DeepMind, that 6 million figure that they use to train their models, he said it's exaggerated. He basically called BS on it. And we had Chris Lehane, who runs policy for OpenAI, saying that we've been talking with government officials about this possibility that they distilled or use unauthorized access to OpenAI data.
Yeah.
And so basically built this model right on the shoulders of OpenAI.
Mark, unfair question, but let's finish with this. How does Microsoft arc over this tension of Musk and Altman? What does Microsoft want out of this?
It's a good question. I mean, in some ways, Microsoft's kind of the winner as long as people keep buying their cloud services. And I think, it seems like what Musk has thrown a little bit is a wrench between the close relationship with Microsoft and OpenAI. I believe even since after his lawsuit, they've kind of backed away from that. And there's some reporting that they're not as close as they were. But, in the long run here, Microsoft wants more companies spending on chips, more companies spending on cloud compute. And I think they're fine to let this lawsuit.
It is the app that is revolutionizing the tech world and beyond. ChatGPT is one of the fastest growing apps on the market. It's AI assistant helping users solve problems both big and small, and leading investors to dream of the wild and lucrative possibilities of artificial intelligence.
They're spending tens of billions of dollars every few months in order to make artificial intelligence really happen and become mainstream.
But its parent company OpenAI's rapid growth, the subsequent injection of investor cash from several different sources, coupled with co-founder Sam Altman's desire to make the company a for-profit entity, has led his former partner Elon Musk to revolt. Musk has filed a lawsuit to slow or outright block the company's transformation. And now he's taking that feud a step further, offering close to $100 billion to take control of the company. A bid Altman didn't ask for and immediately rejected. No thank you, but we'll buy Twitter for $9.74 billion. A subtle shot at Musk, who bought the social media platform for $44 billion. Musk returned fire, calling Altman Scam Altman and a swindler. Musk's bid to take control of OpenAI comes at the same time he's enjoyed immense influence over the Trump White House.
I've had a great help with Elon Musk, who's been terrific.
But Trump has not been afraid to keep Altman close, hosting him at the White House to announce a $100 billion investment in AI infrastructure across the U.S.
We wouldn't be able to do this without you, Mr. President.
A rivalry that Trump seems to be willing to encourage.
These two men, while they're rivals and big competitors and former business partners, they're also fighting for the affections of the President of the United States.
And in his offer to buy OpenAI, Musk's attorney promises the billionaire will return the company back to its core mission with a pledge to make it open source, nonprofit, and a, quote, safety-focused force for good that it once was.
So here's where we are. One man is building what may become the most advanced artificial intelligence platform in history. The other is trying to stop him. Not with algorithms, but with a lawsuit. And both of them helped create this storm. If Elon Musk makes this happen, if he creates a competing AI that's open, regulated, and accessible, he could flip the AI race on its head and expose just how fragile OpenAI's structure really is. But if he fails? If the lawsuit goes nowhere and OpenAI doubles down on control? Then Sam Altman becomes the de facto steward of the most powerful technology we've ever known. And that means whether or not we trust him, we're all along for the ride.
OpenAI, I mean, you seem somewhat frustrated with them. You were one of the big contributors early on.
The reason, I am the reason OpenAI exists.
How much money did you give them?
I'm not sure the exact number, but it's some number on the order of $50 million. Man, fate loves irony, next level.
Do you think Musk's approach then is from a position of insecurity about XAI?
Probably his whole life is from a position of insecurity. I feel for the guy.
You feel for him?
I do, actually. I don't think he's like a happy person. I do feel for him.
Elon Musk is part of an investor group trying to buy OpenAI, the parent company of the popular chat GPT service. Musk is leading a group of investors who have made a bid to buy OpenAI for nearly $100 billion. But Sam Altman, the CEO of OpenAI, says there's just one problem.
OpenAI is not for sale. The OpenAI mission is not for sale. Elon tries all sorts of things for a long time. This is this week's episode.
You take it seriously at all? What do you think he's trying to drive at with this?
I think he's probably just trying to slow us down. He obviously is a competitor.
The backstory here is key, right? Musk actually co-founded OpenAI back in 2015, but he has feuded with Sam Altman ever since then over OpenAI's plans to convert from a nonprofit to a for-profit company.
Something is boiling beneath the surface of Silicon Valley. Elon Musk is suing the very company he co-founded. Sam Altman, the man currently running that company, is in the spotlight, answering questions, dodging accusations, and subtly firing back. But this isn't just another tech feud. This is a power struggle over who controls the future of artificial intelligence. Because if Elon Musk gets his way, if he dismantles OpenAI, builds a rival, or reclaims the narrative, it might just flip the script on everything we thought we knew about AI, safety, and control. But if he doesn't, if Altman keeps the wheel and pushes forward without brakes or oversight, then yes, we might really be screwed. This is about how power shifts when the most advanced intelligence ever created lands in human hands, and whether we've put it in the right ones.
One of the other questions, and it is Elon related, is you are now moving towards having a for-profit component part of your business. Right now it's a not-for-profit. And he, as everybody knows, if you read the papers, is suing you over this and many other things. How do you feel? I actually just want to ask you on a very personal level, forgetting about even the merits of the case. As a guy who has spent a lot of time with him and you guys founded this thing together, how you feel personally today about all this? This is a
tremendously sad. I grew up with Elon as like a mega hero. I thought what Elon was doing was absolutely incredible for the world. And I'm still, of course, I have different feelings about him now, but I'm still glad he exists. And not just because, no, I mean that genuinely, not just because I think his companies are awesome, which I do think, but because I think he, at a time when most of the world was not thinking very ambitiously, he pushed a lot of people, me included, to think much more ambitiously. And I'm grateful is the wrong kind of word, but I'm thankful, I'm positive about that. We started OpenAI together, and then at some point he totally lost faith in OpenAI and decided to go his own way, and that's fine too, but I think of Elon as a builder and someone who, known thing about Elon, he really cares about being the guy. But I think of him as someone that if he's not, that just competes in the market and in technology and whatever else, and doesn't resort to lawfare. And, whatever the stated complaint is, what I believe is he's just he's a competitor and we're doing well. And that's sad to see.
How concerned is Sam Altman about annihilation, do you think?
I think in reality he is not concerned about it. I don't trust OpenAI. I started that company as a non-profit open source.
Yes.
The open in OpenAI, I named the company.
Yeah.
OpenAI as an open source, and it is now extremely closed source and maximizing profit. I don't understand how you actually go from being an open source non-profit to a closed source for maximum profit organization.
Let me ask you a different question just about the company. You did start it as a not-for-profit. It was a research outfit originally.
Yeah.
Now, I think there's a view that it has to shift to be some kind of profit-oriented company.
Well,
does it have to?
First of all, I like to talk about the reason we started as a nonprofit because I think it sort of speaks to the answer too. When we started, we did not have any idea that we were going to be a product company. We also did not know that the amount of capital we needed would turn out to be so huge. If we did know those things, we would have picked a different structure. It's hard to overstate, because it wasn't that long ago on the calendar, but it's hard to overstate how different 2016 was. This was years before we had the research that led to language models. This was 4.5 years before we launched our first product. This was like 6.5 years before we launched ChatGPT. All we knew that we wanted to do was do some AI research, and that we thought AGI and superintelligence eventually would be this important thing to the world. And we wanted to like somehow do something that would be good. At the time we were working on like writing papers, new RL algorithms, new theories, a way to play video games, a robotic hand. And it was not clear that there would ever be a product or revenue stream at all. And it wasn't clear that we were going to need one, because it wasn't clear we needed so much money. Right. It became clear after GPT-1 and some other work that we were going to need to scale. And we started, and also Elon decided to stop funding us as a nonprofit, and we couldn't get somebody else to do it, that we needed to find a way to make a capped profit. Now, we wanted to keep going with a lot of the things that we think are good about a nonprofit. And so we had this subsidiary capped profit that worked for a while.
We start with a question that cuts straight to the core. How do you feel about Elon Musk suing you? Sam Altman doesn't flinch. But what he gives us isn't a corporate answer. It's something more personal, more conflicted. He talks about idolizing Elon, seeing him as a hero. Not a mentor, not a colleague, a hero. That's worship-level admiration. And when someone you revere becomes your legal opponent, that's grief. But let's step back. Why does this matter? Because it exposes the emotional rot under the surface of OpenAI. A company born from big, idealistic dreams, co-founded by people who believed they could steer the most powerful technology on Earth, fractured into lawsuits and counterclaims. When Sam says Elon lost faith in OpenAI, he makes it sound like a bad breakup. But really, it's the story of two visions diverging. Elon wanted AI to be open source, safe, shared. Sam saw a different path, one that required capital, scaling, and eventually, control. And that control is exactly what Elon is afraid of. Elon's fear isn't new. He's warned for years about AI becoming humanity's last invention, especially if it's wielded by the wrong people. So when he sees Sam leading a company that's both secretive and profitable, he sounds the alarm. I don't trust OpenAI. This is the kind of institutional breakdown that could define the next decade. The very people who were supposed to protect us from runaway AI can't even trust each other. And while they trade jabs in interviews and court filings, the technology keeps evolving, faster, smarter, scarier. So what happens if Elon decides to launch his own AI, built from scratch and engineered to outcompete OpenAI? Well, if he's right, if Sam really can't be trusted, then that move might be the only thing that keeps us from handing the keys to the kingdom over to a single private empire. But if Elon's wrong, then we're in a global arms race of egos, not ethics. And in that kind of race, no one wins.
Meantime, this new chapter in the battle of the tech billionaires, Sam Altman rejecting that $97.4 billion bid by an Elon Musk-led group looking to take control of OpenAI. CNBC's Arjun Karpal caught up with Altman at this AI conference this morning in Paris, which is the locus of pretty much all global attention today. Hey, Arjun.
Hey, good morning, Carl. And look, one of the things and the rationales behind the deal from Elon Musk, which is very important, is he thinks OpenAI has strayed from its goal to create AI that benefits humanity, and that's why he says he's put in his bid. But what does Sam Altman, the CEO of OpenAI, thinks? This was amongst the questions I put to him. Why do you think Musk is putting a bid in now? Let's listen into what he had to say. Musk bid for OpenAI.
Yeah.
How seriously are you taking it?
Not particularly.
Not particularly. Why do you think he's doing this?
To slow down a competitor.
And Stargate?
What
do you
about
have the funding?
I'm not the one who tweeted funding secured. I just actually try to show up and, build the thing.
Sam, just a quick one.
What's the end game, Mr. Rome? What is the end game for Elon Musk?
I don't know. I'm curious. Yeah. I think it's to slow down a competitor and try to catch up with his thing, but I don't really know.
Yeah, but you know him well, right?
To the degree anybody does, yeah.
Just when you think the rift couldn't get any deeper, Sam throws down a new card, publicly. In a short clip, he's asked how seriously he takes Elon's bid for OpenAI. His response? Not particularly. That sounds casual, but make no mistake, it's strategic. He's not just downplaying Elon, he's exposing him. Altman claims Elon is trying to slow down a competitor, not protect the world, not champion ethics, but stall the progress of a rival he can't keep up with. And then comes the snark. I'm not the one who tweeted funding secured. That's a shot across the bow. A dig at Elon's infamous SEC battle. What this shows is critical. The gloves are off. This is about undermining each other publicly, damaging reputations, and taking the AI race into the mud. And Sam's final word? I don't really know what Elon's endgame is. That's casting doubt. It's Sam planting the idea that maybe Elon doesn't even have a master plan. Just a grudge and a need to stay relevant in a space he helped ignite, but no longer controls. This isn't a chess match. It's a street fight. And at this point, neither side is pretending otherwise.
And in some senses still does kind of work, and in some other senses is like straining the theory of what a nonprofit controlled org can be and the amount of capital we need at this next stage. So we are, and have been for a while, looking at some changes. Nothing is decided. It is, as you can imagine, like very complicated to figure this out. And the board is like hard at work on it. In any configuration, like the nonprofit doesn't go away. Like one thing that the board has looked at, for example, is a PBC that a nonprofit owns a huge chunk of and then figures out how to use that amount of wealth for the purpose of the nonprofit. And people can work on like art projects and not get paid for that, and no one thinks it's weird or whatever. It just does not come across. So I wish I had taken some. I don't imagine I would work any harder or less hard. There would be like, I think, something clearer about the alignment I would have had with investors or whatever else, and it definitely would have been easier to raise money. Like there are plenty of investors who have not invested because I didn't take equity.
They say, really, that's interesting. They will not invest because you don't have equity.
Come up a few times, yeah.
So if it's now the company's $157 billion, what do you think is a good number for yourself if it happens?
Again, I think you think about it more. This is my childhood dream job. Like not every day, like not day to day. I would rather not be beating my head against the wall all the time. But getting to work on AGI, and like getting to like sit in the room with the smartest researchers in the world and go on this crazy adventure, like that is what I always wanted to do. That was like my literal childhood dream. And that is, all of the weirdness aside, I think it should at least be understandable that is worth more to me than any additional money.
Well, but Sam Altman got rich, though, didn't he?
At various points he's claimed not to be getting rich, but he's claimed many things that were false. And now apparently he's going to get $10 billion of stock or something like that. So I don't trust Sam Altman, and I don't think we want to have the most powerful AI in the world controlled by someone who is not trustworthy. And sorry, I just don't. I mean,
but that seems like a fair concern.
Yeah.
But you don't think, as someone who knows him and has dealt with him, that he is worried about the possibility this could get out of control and hurt people?
He will say those words, yeah, but no.
The next few minutes of the interview drop harder than most people realize. Sam opens up about OpenAI's nonprofit roots, and it's clear they weren't built for scale. In 2016, they weren't chasing a product. They were publishing research, tinkering with algorithms, teaching robotic hands to solve Rubik's cubes. It was science for science's sake. But then came GPT. Then came scaling. Then came the money. Sam admits, if we knew how much capital we'd need, we would have chosen a different structure. That line hits like a time bomb, because it reframes OpenAI not as a mission-led organization adapting to growth, but as a non-profit that stumbled into capitalism and never looked back. That's where the rot begins. From the outside, OpenAI still talks like a non-profit. They emphasize safety, alignment, and global benefit. But internally, they're bending structures, creating hybrid for-profit caps, exploring public benefit corporations, all to make the numbers work. And here's the catch. If you need that much capital to benefit humanity, maybe you're not building something for humanity anymore. Maybe you're building a business and trying to dress it up like a cause. Then comes the kicker. Sam never took equity. He makes $76,000 a year. To most people, that sounds noble. But to investors, it sounds suspicious. In a world where incentives drive everything, where billions are on the line, refusing to take equity means your motivations become harder to read. Are you a martyr? A puppet? A wild card? Sam says he regrets not taking a little equity. Not for the money, but to shut people up. That's honest. Maybe too honest. Because it shows how badly OpenAI wants to appear principled, even as it gets entangled in capitalism's oldest trap, trust. And then, boom, we return to Elon's voice. I don't trust Sam Altman. He doesn't believe Sam tells the truth. He doesn't believe Sam is worried about AI safety. He doesn't believe the man who helped build OpenAI should be allowed anywhere near the most powerful system on Earth. That's a red flag. Because the moment trust breaks down, not just between co-founders, but between creators and the public, AI ceases to be a tool. It becomes a weapon. And in Elon's eyes, Sam Altman is already pulling the trigger.
All right, right now, a rivalry between big tech billionaires playing out as we speak. We're talking about Elon Musk and OpenAI CEO Sam Altman. Altman firing back after a Musk-led group submitted an unsolicited $97.4 billion bid to take over OpenAI.
So yeah, we are screwed might not be hyperbole. It might just be the understatement of the year.
So we got the first starships on Mars, gather critical data. The first flights there we'll send with the Optimus robot. So we can go out there and explore and kind of prepare the way for humans. And that'll be a very cool image if we're able to achieve it by launching end of next year. It would actually technically arrive in 2027, but that would be an epic picture to see Optimus walking around on the surface of Mars. This is like an incredible thing to have, like this amazing city on Mars, the first city on another planet, and a new world.
Elon Musk's AI predictions are totally out of this world, literally. While OpenAI is working on ChatGPT-5 and Google's showing off their new AI glasses and smart wearables, Elon is talking about something entirely different. He's talking about Mars, AI-powered rockets, humanoid robots exploring another planet, satellites run by artificial intelligence connecting Earth to Mars in real time. The truth is, the real alien here might actually be Elon Musk. Don't believe it? Watch this.
So we're looking at different locations. The lead candidate right now is the Arcadia region. Mars has a lot of real estate, but when you combine all of the factors and say, okay, we can't be too close to the poles, we need to be near ice, water, and can't be too mountainous for the rockets, then it narrows down to a smaller region. So Arcadia is, it's one of my daughter's name is Arcadia actually, and is one of the options. So we got the first starships on Mars, gather critical data. So the first flights there we'll send with the Optimus robot, so we can go out there and explore and kind of prepare the way for humans. And that'll be a very cool image if we're able to achieve it by launching end of next year. It would actually technically arrive in 2027, but that would be an epic picture to see Optimus walking around on the surface of Mars. And then with the launching 2 years later, we'd be sending humans. Assuming the first missions are successful and they land successfully, we'd send humans on the next mission, and we'd really start building the infrastructure for Mars. So anyway, maybe just to be safe, we might just do two landing episodes with the Optimus and do the third one with humans. We'll see. So that classic picture of the workers on the Empire State. And then for communications on Mars, we'll be using a version of Starlink to provide internet on Mars. Yeah, so the speed of light, even at moving at the speed of light, your best case scenario is, I guess, running around 3.5 minutes to Mars, and then worst case is 22 minutes or more because Mars is on the other side of the sun from Earth. So anyway, it's quite challenging to do high bandwidth communications with Mars, but Starlink will achieve that. Yeah, and then we'll have the first humans lay the groundwork for permanent presence on the surface. And yeah, the goal, like I said, will be to make Mars self-sustaining as quickly as possible. This is just a sort of rough idea of what things will be like with the first city on Mars. My guess is we'll probably put the launch pads a little further away, or the landing pads, just in case. But for Mars, we're going to need a lot of solar power. You can't really walk around on the surface of Mars, at least as yet, until Mars is terraformed to be like Earth. You need to walk around with a Mars suit and be initially in kind of like glass domes. But it would work, and eventually we can make Mars into an Earth-like planet. And we want to get to the point where we're transferring over 1 million tons at every Mars transfer window. And then that's like a serious civilization. It will have a lot of spaceports. I mean, because of the fact that you can't fly there continuously and you have to transfer in these windows, you'd have a gathering of 1,000 ships or 2,000 ships or more than that. So we have this kind of like Battlestar Galactica feel where all these ships are in orbit waiting to depart. I think an amazing image of all these ships departing at once. And then you're going to need obviously a lot of launch pads, a lot of landing pads on Mars, or you'll need to move the ships off the landing pad pretty fast. You've got a few thousand ships inbound, probably need at least a few hundred landing pads. Anyway, we'll solve that problem later. So, yeah, this is like an incredible thing to have, like this amazing city on Mars, the first city on another planet, a new world. And it's also an opportunity to, I think, for the Martians to rethink how they want civilization to be. So you can maybe rethink, like, what kind of form of government do you want? What new rules do you want to have? There's a lot of freedom and opportunity in Mars to do a recompile on civilization, which will be up to the Martians. So, all right.
So now that we've got Optimus heading to Mars, there's a major question left to answer. How are we going to stay in contact? Elon's answer? Starlink. But not the same Starlink that's bringing high-speed internet to remote areas of Earth. He's talking about a completely upgraded, AI-enhanced version of Starlink that can handle deep space communication between Earth and Mars. And when you understand the challenge, you realize just how big of a deal this is. Here's the issue. Even if your signal travels at the speed of light, it still takes anywhere from 3.5 to over 20 minutes just to get to Mars, depending on where the two planets are in orbit. That means, if you send a command, it could take nearly 45 minutes round trip just to get a response. That delay makes real-time communication impossible. You can't joystick a robot on Mars from your desk on Earth. Not unless you want to wait half an hour between moves. This is where artificial intelligence becomes absolutely necessary. The first explorer to walk the surface of Mars won't be a human. It'll be Optimus, the humanoid AI robot Tesla's been developing behind the scenes. According to Musk, SpaceX's massive Starship rocket will carry the Optimus robots to Mars as early as 2026, with the mission aimed at preparing the Martian environment before humans ever set foot there. He even posted about it directly on X, formerly Twitter, marking the first time he publicly connected Tesla's humanoid robot to an actual Mars mission. This isn't speculation anymore. It's part of the plan. And Musk already has a destination picked out. A region on Mars called Arcadia. It's not just any spot, it was chosen strategically. The area has the right elevation, it's near access to ice water, and it's relatively flat, which makes it ideal for landing rockets. It's also symbolic. Elon named his daughter Arcadia. So yeah, this one's personal. Now, I know how this sounds, like science fiction. But this is real. The plan is to send fully uncrewed starships loaded with AI robots to scout terrain, gather scientific data, and even begin testing infrastructure before human arrival. No astronauts, no flag planting ceremony. Just a robot silently walking out onto the surface of Mars. The first life form to do it. That's the first footprint on Mars, and it won't belong to us. It'll belong to a machine. And let's be clear, this isn't just Elon dreaming out loud. He's serious about this. He said that if everything goes to plan, the first Starship carrying Optimus could launch by the end of next year, with actual arrival on Mars sometime in 2027. That's less than 2 years away. Let that sink in. In under 24 months, we could be watching footage of a humanoid AI robot walking across an alien planet. And Elon, being Elon, he's already thinking ahead. He's considering sending multiple Optimus missions before any humans go. just to be cautious. And honestly, that's brilliant. Send the robots first. Let them take the risk. If something fails, we reset and improve. We don't mourn, we iterate. It's the kind of calculated risk that actually increases the odds of long-term success. And here's what really hits me. If that moment actually happens, if the world sees a Tesla-built robot walking around on Mars, captured live on camera, it will be one of the most powerful images of the century. Not because of how futuristic it looks, but because of what it means. It signals a turning point, that for the first time, AI has become the ambassador of Earth. That humanity trusted a machine to take the first step toward colonizing another world. That's not just history, that's legacy. Now that we've got the robot on Mars, how are we going to talk to it? So while most of the world is focused on AI writing code or generating art, Elon Musk is using it to build a multi-planet civilization. Robots walking on Mars, satellites bridging planets, rockets flying themselves. The future isn't coming, it's already lifting off. What do you think? Will AI be humanity's greatest tool or our biggest gamble? Drop your thoughts in the comments. And if you enjoyed this breakdown, hit like and subscribe for more deep dives into the future of tech.
So you guys may have noticed I snuck a peek back at the shelf a moment ago. I wasn't paying attention, but let's see if Gemini was. Hey, did you happen to catch the title of the white book that was on the shelf behind me?
The white book is Atomic Habits by James Clear.
That is absolutely right. So let's try something harder. I keep losing my hotel key card. Do you know where I last left the card?
The hotel key card is to the right of the music record.
Great.
All right, I've been thinking about what Google just announced, and I don't think most people are fully catching it. They're calling it Android XR. At first glance, it just sounds like some new headset or smart glasses. But the more I listened, the more I realized this isn't about hardware. This is Google quietly stepping beyond the screen, not upgrading your phone, replacing it. We've lived inside rectangles for decades. Phones, laptops, TVs, it's all been screen-based. Google's saying that era's over. With Android XR, the goal is to move computing into your space. Glasses you wear all day. Headsets that let AI understand what you're looking at, what you're saying, even what you might want before you ask. And yeah, it's impressive. Gemini, their latest AI, isn't just part of the system. It is the system. It reacts, predicts, guides. You ask where to eat, it knows. You're watching a game, it explains the play. It's smooth, fast, probably going to feel like magic. But keep in mind, just because it feels natural doesn't mean it is harmless. Google's pushing this idea that headsets are for moments, and glasses are for your whole day. That's not just a design choice, that's a behavior shift. If this works, Google won't just be something you check. It'll be something that surrounds you, something that shapes how you see the world. And that changes everything. They've rebuilt Chrome for XR. They're relaunching YouTube with immersive formats. Developers are getting new tools to bring their apps into this environment. It's not a side project, it's a platform, a new default, and I get why they're doing it now. Gemini finally gives them the AI power that Glass never had. This time, the tech actually works. But the questions haven't gone away. If Gemini becomes your interface to the world, how much of that world is being filtered, nudged, predicted, without you even realizing it? I'm not saying it's all bad. There's a lot of potential here. But when the core of it, Gemini, stays in Google's hands, it's worth asking, how much control are we giving up for the convenience? So yeah, this looked like a product launch. But it feels more like Google trying to rewrite the rules of how we interact with reality. Let's break it down.
This AI is inherently multimodal, so it's using visual data and natural language to digest complex queries in real time, while remembering your past context. Nishta, let's see some more.
Yeah, let's bring this book back. So I don't really have time to read it right now, but I wonder if Gemini might be able to help me summarize what's going on. Like, I don't know, what does this diagram mean? It looks complex.
This diagram is labeled the habit line and illustrates the process of habit formation. It shows how automaticity increases with repetitions until a habit is formed.
Okay.
Now, imagine being able to communicate and understand any language. The AI can shift its output to speak different languages with dialects and accents that feel human and natural.
Yeah, let's go to this sign over here. Can you translate this to English for me?
The sign states private property, no trespassing.
Okay, let's prove this is a live demo. Does anyone in the audience have a suggestion for a different language to translate to?
Farsi.
Farsi. We tried Farsi, it failed last time, but let's try it again.
Do you want to try Farsi? We could try Thai. Okay.
Because I do speak Farsi, so it's my mother tongue, so thank you.
Gemini, let's just give this a shot. Can you translate this sign to Farsi for us?
املاک خصوصی تجاوز نکنید.
Great. Awesome. It speaks Farsi.
That's amazing. So as Sharon mentioned, you all may have seen translation demos like this before, but what's new now is that in addition to just saying things in a different language, I can also speak to Gemini in another language. I know Hindi, so let's give this a shot. अच्छा, क्या आप मुझे बता सकते हो ये लोग अभी कैसे लग रहे हैं?
वे अभी एकाग्र और उत्साहित दिख रहे हैं.
So Gemini said you all look focused and excited, and it has a better accent than I do.
Why would you say now is the right moment to launch XR?
Yeah, so for pretty much the history of computing, we've been using the rectangular box of a screen display. Whether it's monitors, laptops, tablets, or phones, XR has the power to extend beyond those boundaries.
I think now is the perfect time to work on XR because you have a convergence of all these technologies, and Gemini is key to powering Android XR.
It's the first Android platform built entirely for the Gemini era, for both headsets and glasses. With advances in AI and an amazing ecosystem of device and developer partners, we believe the time for XR is now. We've been building Android XR hand in hand with Samsung, working on both software and hardware together.
But now, we are at a crossroad where the newest cutting-edge XR technology meets multimodal AI, which understand what you see and what you say. So you can just talk to a device as if you are talking to someone in the physical world. This is the next generation UI of XR. Imagine being immersed in a world that understands you and responds to your every interaction, whether through your hands, eyes, or voice. The time is now. Technology is here. With the Android XR, it is all coming together.
Let's not pretend the timing here is random. Google could have launched XR a year ago, or waited 2 more, but they chose now. Why? Because they finally have the one thing their early attempts lacked: a competent AI engine. That's what Gemini is. And that's why this is a platform revealed in disguise. When they talk about moving past the rectangular box of a screen, it sounds poetic, but underneath that line is an admission. Screen-based interfaces are maxed out. We've hit a saturation point. The next frontier is making them disappear. And the only way to do that is to shift the entire user experience away from screens and into space. It's a quiet attempt to redefine what Android means when it's no longer inside your phone.
We're getting started today with headsets. They're a great entry point for Android XR, and if you build for headsets, you'll be laying the foundation for other form factors that follow later. That will include glasses for Android XR. These will be designed for all-day wear. They're a natural form factor for AI, providing real-time helpful information when you need it. If you build for Android, you're already building for Android XR. Entertainment comes to life with YouTube and Google TV in totally immersive environments. Photo and video captured in 2D can be converted into a 3D memory for you to experience again and again with Google Photos. With Chrome on XR, you have an infinite, unbounded workspace.
And with Google's groundbreaking multimodal AI that understands context, we completely transform the meaning of natural interaction. The first device we designed for Android XR platform
is the headset. We see headset as a great starting point because they have unique capabilities that unlock a whole new way to interact with the technology. I'm very excited to present the first device designed for Android XR. Codename Project Muhan. Muhan means infinity in Korean because XR will deliver unparalleled immersive experiences in a truly infinite space.
We're thrilled to show you live what it's like to experience Android XR and some of the capabilities of the platform. Hey Gemini, can you show me VR 180 videos of this place?
Sure, I can help with that.
We're incredibly excited for Gemini on Android XR that will power a new type of conversational multimodal experience.
Designed by Filippo Brunelleschi. It's one of the largest brick domes ever constructed, and a masterpiece of Renaissance architecture.
Okay, this is amazing. I definitely have to visit here, but I want to find some restaurants nearby.
I'm sure we could find a place in New York. Maybe we could take the team here tonight if you're feeling seafood.
Hey Gemini, can you take me to this restaurant?
Sure, I can take you to the Clam in New York.
The underlying technology allows us to process inputs from all different kinds of signals, much like you process the real world.
The magical thing about XR is that it's moving computing to a place that's truly as natural as you can imagine it.
Android XR is our new platform for headsets and glasses. It offers some of the best tools for developers to use, and it reduces a lot of the friction.
What's quietly revolutionary here is the way Google frames XR as an environment, not a feature. By saying it can process signals like you process the real world, they're implying a system that listens, watches, and reacts constantly. That's omnipresence. The problem? No one's really asking for that. Google's betting that if they can make the interface seamless enough, if it just feels like magic, then we'll skip right over the privacy questions. But that assumption is risky. Passive interfaces don't just require trust. They demand it. And unless Gemini can prove that it's more than just another data-hungry observer, people may reject this vision before it even leaves beta. Still, if they pull it off, Android XR becomes the new default layer for everyday computing. Not because people asked for it, but because it just sort of showed up and worked.
Today, we're excited to launch the developer preview of the Android XR SDK. You'll have endless opportunities to create and develop for this computing platform, using familiar tools and open standards created for XR. For Android developers, we're extending the tools and frameworks like Android Studio and our Jetpack libraries to XR. And for Unity developers, we'll support Unity's editor and popular XR packages. You'll be able to share your apps the same way you always have as we open the Play Store to XR. Now, you're probably wondering, how does this all work with existing apps and games? They'll be available on Android XR out of the box, and your existing compatible apps can work without any additional effort. Our APIs, tools, and guidance for building for XR are available today.
As a developer, I'm thrilled to introduce YouTube on Android XR. We've redesigned our app from the ground up with immersive video formats, spatial audio, and a vast content library. XR opens up new ways to watch. YouTube leverages Android XR's unique capabilities to deliver an unparalleled immersive viewing experience. Users can enjoy both 2D and spatial content with support for pass-through and immersive environments. We're breaking content outside the rectangle and into the world around you.
We believe Android XR with Unity will drive a new era of XR adoption and experiences. Starting today, you'll have access to the public experimental version of Android XR to start building your apps and games in the Unity engine. We're taking our mixed reality tools and capabilities to the next level with Unity 6.
We've been in this space since Google Glass, and we have not stopped. Things like AR Core, the Geospatial API, Lens, Live View, Translate, and now Gemini.
We can take those experiences, which already work great, and find new ways to be helpful for people.
When we talk about headsets and glasses, we think about headsets as episodic products that you put on for a specific reason.
When you're watching the game, Gemini could break down everything about Freddy's Grand Slam.
Here's where things get especially strategic. Google reminds us they've been in this space since Google Glass, but they don't dwell on it. Why? Because Glass was a failure, but it was also a foundation. The tech didn't work, but the concept did. Fast forward a decade and every piece of that ecosystem, AR Core, Live View, Lens, is back. This time propped up by something Glass never had. AI that actually understands context. Then there's Gemini. It's not just plugging into XR, it is XR. When they say it can tell you about a baseball grand slam while you're watching it, it's predictive computing. The system is learning what to say before you ask. Whether that's helpful or unsettling depends on how deeply you trust Google to filter your reality.
6 years ago, we launched AR Core. Since then, you've amazed us with what you built on the world's largest AR platform, now on over 1 billion Android devices. You've reimagined how your users connect, watch, learn, play, and work. 2 years ago, we launched the AR Core Geospatial API, opening up new possibilities for large-scale, location-anchored AR experiences. We've seen thousands of developers using this to create helpful and engaging journeys for their users, and we're taking the next step to build a unified platform for the future of XR. Today, we're excited to launch the developer preview of the Android XR SDK. You'll have endless opportunities to create and develop for this computing platform, using familiar tools and open standards created for XR. As a developer, I'm really excited about this.
I'm constantly in search of new technologies and new ways to entertain, inspire, and to tell stories, to create groundbreaking experiences for people. That's why I'm thrilled to announce our most exciting project to date, Asteroid. It's an immersive, interactive film app that's launching on Android XR.
As very early advocates for XR and the transition from 2D screens to spatial computing, we understand the unique challenges in building for these devices. We are thrilled that Spaces developers will now be able to seamlessly transition their apps to Android XR while continuing to support existing Snapdragon Spaces devices. We look forward to working with Google to extend Android XR platform to more OEM partners, leaders like Lynx, Sony, and XReal, all powered by Snapdragon, to achieve scale and reach its full potential.
Visceral incarnation of any 3D space or spatial environment you could think of.
I can't wait to spatialize old videos. It'll feel like you're right in your memories again.
And then we think about glasses as all-day products that you use to get value throughout your day.
Our technology really enables us to shrink down the displays that go into the glasses.
We'll see more of these highly portable devices that will more and more look like the ones I'm wearing right now.
This quietly draws a line in the sand between headsets and glasses, and it's more philosophical than it sounds. Headsets are opt-in. You wear them with intent. But glasses? Glasses are ambient, persistent. They don't interrupt your day, they live inside it. And that's the angle Google's really going for here. XR glasses aren't for escaping reality, they're for layering it. They're betting people will wear something that doesn't just show you information, but interprets the world for you. That's the future of perception. Even the throwaway line about spatializing old videos reveals a huge ambition: memory manipulation. If Gemini can reconstruct your past in immersive environments, what does that mean for how we experience history or trauma or nostalgia? They're psychological experiments.
With glasses, you'll feel like you're a local, no matter where you are.
There's no way we could build this platform other than collaborating very closely. We've been working with Samsung for a number of years, and so we look for opportunities where we could really marry each other's strength in creating something new.
This might seem minor, but it reveals everything about Google's design philosophy. When they talk about shrinking the displays and wanting devices that look like the ones I'm wearing now, They're framing invisibility as innovation. Think about it. Apple made a spectacle of Vision Pro. Google is trying to do the opposite. They want their XR system to vanish into your face. Not because it's modest, but because it's strategic. The less people notice the tech, the more naturally it embeds into routine. And once it's there, it's very hard to remove. Even their claim that glasses will help you feel like a local anywhere hints at a kind of algorithmic empathy. Your AI doesn't just speak the language. It interprets tone, reads signs, decodes culture. At least that's the dream. The problem is, dreams like that often come with surveillance.
From software and UX to hardware, cross-functional partners across both companies have worked seamlessly around the clock as one team to build a powerful XR platform.
We've learned that we can build the best platforms with an ecosystem of developers, designers, and device makers.
A lot of deep collaboration happens for us to bring the best solution to the ecosystem, to the platform, and to the users.
Alone, you can go fast, but together you can go far.
And the only way we'll get there is if we build this together.
And now we get to the alliance, the part Google always keeps quiet until they need scale. Samsung is the bridge to the mass market. If you want XR to work on a global level, you can't build it alone. And Google knows this. That's why they're showing their hand here. The language is careful, cross-functional, ecosystem, collaboration, but make no mistake, this is a supply chain moment. The XR platform they're describing is an infrastructure project, one that spans design, chipsets, sensors, and AI models that have to run seamlessly across devices made by different companies. But here's the real kicker. For all the talk of community and collaboration, what Google's building is closed. Gemini doesn't belong to the world. It belongs to Google. So even as they open source parts of Android XR, the brain behind it will always be theirs. So let's cut through the marketing. This wasn't an announcement about glasses. It was a reveal of Google's attempt to redefine the rules of engagement for computing itself. By combining spatial interfaces with Gemini, Google is trying to control the platform that mediates your entire day. From translation to memory, from navigation to behavior. What makes it unexpected is how quietly they dropped it. No flashy stage, no bombastic demos. Just a low-key rollout of something that, if it works, could turn your next pair of glasses into the most powerful and invisible computer you own. Whether that future is exciting or dystopian depends on how you feel about an AI system that watches, listens, and helps. All the time. Thanks for watching. If this breakdown helped you see the bigger picture, give it a like, share your thoughts in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe. We've got more deep dives coming soon.
One top executive from OpenAI says that they'd be interested in buying Google's Chrome browser if regulators make Google sell it. Well, that came out during testimony at Google's big antitrust trial. A judge already ruled last year that Google has a monopoly in online search and ads. Well, Google hasn't offered to sell Chrome, and they are planning to fight any ruling that forces them to.
Some mechanics around that on the Chrome side. Didn't seem like there was much of a bidder, but OpenAI wants to bid for that. I think that just shows you how these two companies are fighting for the consumer. That's the bid on Chrome. So, Karen, I think that there are opportunities to kind of spin these out.
OpenAI was first to raise their hand about, hey, we'll buy Chrome.
That made me crack up.
Let's hand the prior monopoly's most important asset to the new upcoming monopoly and let them get even bigger. That would be the last possible thing that you would want to happen. All of distribution and all of identity are consolidated in a very small number of places. And you've even got people like Elon, who's a tech person, over there in the government trying to consolidate data systems, consolidate your social security records with your IRS records. They're basically trying to become another identity player in this game.
So here's the headline that caught everyone off guard. OpenAI, the company behind ChatGPT, says they'd be interested in buying Google Chrome if the government forces Google to sell it. Now let's pause for a second. This isn't some rumor or clickbait. This came straight from the courtroom. Nick Turley, OpenAI's head of product, made that statement while testifying on behalf of the US government in a major antitrust trial against Google. The case is focused on one thing: whether Google's control over online search is so extreme that it's choking out competition and innovation. And that's where Chrome comes in. Chrome isn't just a browser. It's the most used gateway to the internet, used by nearly 2/3 of all internet users. That's billions of people. And because it's tied directly to Google Search, Google Ads, YouTube, and their AI product Gemini, it's part of a much bigger ecosystem. Whoever controls Chrome doesn't just control a browser. They control access to the flow of information and, let's be real, a ton of money. That's why this move from OpenAI feels so bold. It's not just a casual interest, it's a signal. OpenAI wants to go from building the tools that live inside the internet to owning the front door itself. Now, to be fair, Google has no plans to sell. In fact, they've pushed back hard, saying they'll fight any ruling that tries to force them. But just the fact that Chrome is even being discussed as a possible asset to break off tells you how serious this trial is, and how real the threat is to Google's dominance. Now, from OpenAI's perspective, this makes perfect sense. Turley even admitted they reached out to Google last year to try and license their search technology for ChatGPT. They wanted to improve their responses by giving ChatGPT access to Google's index. But Google shut it down. So now OpenAI's thinking, if we can't partner with you, maybe we'll just take the whole browser when the chance comes. But here's where it gets tricky. Let's say Google is forced to sell. Are we solving the monopoly problem, or just handing it to another player? That's what some people are worried about. You're taking control away from a dominant search company and giving it to a dominant AI company. That's not exactly decentralizing power. It's just reshuffling it. Still, this tells us a lot about the direction OpenAI wants to go. This isn't just about answering questions better. It's about controlling how people access the internet in the first place. And if that doesn't make you rethink the future of tech, I don't know what will. But all of this leads to one big question. Why is Google even on trial in the first place? Why is the government trying to break them up? And what exactly did Google do that could put Chrome on the chopping block?
Federal judge ruled that it holds an illegal monopoly in some online advertising markets. Deirdre Bosa digging into what it means for the tech giant in today's Tech Check. Some more antitrust problems for Google.
More antitrust, and so you would be forgiven for losing track of all the different lawsuits and pressures that Google is facing. It is a lot. The latest ruling to come down, it centers on the ad tech case, and it opens the door for a forced breakup of Google's ad business, something regulators have been after for years. Now, ads, of course, still very much the bread and butter of Alphabet, making up some 75% of total revenue. So breaking up the ad tech stack, that represents a direct threat to the financial foundation of the company itself. Now, Google in a statement says, quote, "We disagree with the court's decision regarding our publisher tools. Publishers have many options and they choose Google because our ad tech tools are simple, affordable, and effective." But key here, this is now the second active case where U.S. courts could force Google to sell off key assets. Next week, the remedy trial gets underway in the online search case where the DOJ is pushing for a breakup of Google's Chrome browser, key to its ecosystem. Now, it's not just the U.S. coming for Google either. It's Europe, China, Japan. They have all opened up cases, making the pressure global and the stakes even higher. To be sure, it will take months, potentially years, for remedies or fines to flow through. But something we often talk about is that regulatory scrutiny, it diverts resources, talent, attention away from the core, like we saw Microsoft decades ago. And Google's core right now is a once-in-a-generation opportunity, artificial intelligence. Google is still seen as playing catch-up, and the race is only speeding up. A bright spot, perhaps, though, is that Google has notched a number of wins in recent months with Gemini and its different integrations. It doesn't seem like regulation has thrown off its focus quite yet. Valuation, though, that's another story. Google still holds the lowest earnings multiple of the Mag 7. Investors seeing regulatory threat as very real, and that makes an impact. In fact, tech is not getting any kind of regulatory break in the second Trump administration, as many had hoped. We talked about this last hour. FTC versus Meta, that's moving forward, threatening to split off Instagram and WhatsApp. Guys, the charm offensive from mega cap CEOs leading up to the second Trump administration.
The judge has given a partial ruling. So in some areas, yes, it says that Google has a monopoly in advertising tech markets, not in others. What is the language the judge used? What do we know?
Yeah, that's exactly right, Ed. The judge is finding that Google has violated the Sherman Antitrust Act, Section 2 of it specifically, by willfully, and this is the judge's words, acquiring and maintaining monopoly power in the open web display publisher ad server market and the open web display ad exchange market. So servers and exchanges are what they have found to violate antitrust laws here. And the judge goes on to say that the court is going to be setting a briefing schedule and a hearing date to determine the appropriate remedies for these antitrust violations. It becomes a question, of course, of what those remedies are, knowing that this is not the first antitrust difficulty that Alphabet is facing, as Google already was found in a separate case to have also monopolized the search market, and the Justice Department is looking for a spin-off of its Chrome browser, specifically in a case related to search. So it becomes a question of whether or not there may be advertising portions of Google's business that also will be looking at spinning off. If that is what the U.S. pursues, the judge is going to consider all avenues. But the point here, Ed, is this is a second big loss for Google in the courts, as they have been found to violate antitrust rules when it comes to ad exchanges and servers. The judge did not find justification of a monopoly for a third market of tools that is used by advertisers to buy display ads, but still on 2 out of 3, essentially, the judge has ruled against this giant technology company.
So after hearing that OpenAI might want to buy Chrome, you might be wondering, why is that even on the table? Why would Google ever have to give up something that important? The short answer? The US government is taking Google to court over monopoly power. Again. And this time, they're playing for keeps. Let's break it down. Right now, Google is at the center of not one, but 2 major antitrust cases. In one case, the Department of Justice is going after its advertising business, the backbone of Google's revenue. Ads account for roughly 75% of Alphabet's income, so any threat to that ecosystem is a direct hit to the company's financial core. A judge already ruled that Google holds an illegal monopoly in certain ad markets, specifically the display ad server and exchange systems. That alone would be enough to keep most companies on defense. But here's where it gets even bigger. The second case, the one we're focused on, targets Google's dominance in search and the tools it uses to maintain that dominance, like the Chrome browser. Think about it. Chrome isn't just how people browse the web, it's how they get to Google search. And Google has spent years locking in that position. They've made billion-dollar deals with Apple, Samsung, and others to ensure their search engine is the default. That's key because, as Microsoft CEO Satya Nadella said under oath, defaults are everything. Most people never change them, so when the DOJ argues that Google is using Chrome to unfairly maintain control of the search market, it's not a fringe theory. It's strategy. Google controls the browser. They control the search. They control the ads that appear once you search. That's an entire funnel. And here's the kicker. A federal judge has already ruled that Google did violate antitrust law in search, just like it did in ads. We are now in the remedy phase, meaning the court isn't deciding if Google is guilty, it's deciding what to do about it. And that's how we got to this moment. The idea of forcing Google to sell Chrome as a remedy. Now, from Google's side, they're pushing back hard. Their attorneys say they won their place in the market fair and square, and they argue that forcing a breakup would hurt users, limit innovation, and even threaten America's tech leadership globally. They've also warned that it could force them to share private user data with competitors, something that opens up a whole new privacy debate. And they're not wrong to be worried, because it's not just the US anymore. Europe, Japan, and even China are lining up with similar cases. The pressure is global, and it's growing. But let's be honest, Google didn't get here by accident. When you have over 90% of the global search market, and when you're paying billions just to keep it that way, it's hard to argue that the playing field has been fair for smaller competitors. And now that we're in the AI era, the stakes are even higher. The DOJ is worried that Google could use its head start in AI, through Gemini and deep integration into its products, to push even further ahead and lock out competitors before they even get a chance.
Nice. The idea of seeing a robot interact with the world, there's not a person controlling it, yet it's doing all these things. That is the most exciting type of intelligence. I'm a PhD student at Georgia Tech. I work on problems at the intersection of computer vision and robotics, answering the question, how can humans teach robots how to do things by using data that has been captured from an egocentric perspective?
We are trying to use what we call human data. We capture how humans interact with the world, and that data gets used to train a robot. We can actually capture this kind of data with ARIA glasses.
It really checked the boxes, which is it's recording a front-facing RGB image, it's tracking your hands in 3D space, and it's localizing the glasses.
It actually captures the environment, builds a map, and knows precisely where the glass is at any given moment.
We have tried to make this an out-of-the-box solution. That means you can put them on, pair your glasses with the companion app, and start recording data right away without writing any code. We look at ARIA as an investment in the research community. What personally motivates me is to see the creativity of how these researchers are solving problems.
Oh, stuck. Let the people feel the pain of roboticists.
Research partners give us feedback, and we can turn around new features pretty quickly. The most surprising thing was to see ARIA mounted on a robot, but I think it was quite genius.
Robotics is a real-time problem. Real-time recognition of behaviors and the surrounding environment is fundamental to robotics. ARIA is such a small form factor, we can just put it on the robot and have it directly control its own body by looking at the world through ARIA glasses.
Georgia Tech made use of the ARIA Client SDK, which allows them to directly stream data from the ARIA glasses to a machine that can then do inference with a trained model directly from the sensor stream.
This system is a really natural way to collect data that is useful for robotics. I think a lot of people were really excited about this because the promise of scale is much higher than anything else.
The more that the egocentric research community standardizes, the more researchers will be able to collaborate. It's really through scaling with the community like this, collectively we can start to solve bigger problems around how things are going to work in the future.
When more people can collect this kind of data without conscious effort, we can cover a broad range of scenarios and tasks. That type of diversity at such a rich sensor level is dream come true.
Meta's ARIA. Two glasses represent a leap toward a future where artificial intelligence is deeply embedded in the physical world. And with advancements like this, we're starting to see a pivotal moment in robotics, one that transcends the traditional limitations of how we think about machines. What we're seeing here is a fundamental shift in how machines will interact with the world around them. The concept of egocentric data collection is revolutionary because it's about creating a feedback loop where the machine learns to understand the world through human-like perspectives. It's almost as if we're teaching robots to see the world the way we do, tracking hand movements, localizing their position in space, and adapting to changing environments in real time. What's exciting here is that it's something we're beginning to implement today, with Meta's ARIA glasses already laying the groundwork. But what does this really mean for us? Well, the reality of it is that ARIA glasses are turning the tables on traditional robotics. Traditionally, we have robots that are reliant on predetermined programming, but now, with ARIA, we're seeing the beginning of truly autonomous machines. When you can capture the world through these glasses, creating a continuous stream of data that robots can immediately react to, you create an intelligence that's dynamic and responsive, not static. Take the example of Georgia Tech's collaboration using ARIA glasses. The way this data is streamed and then immediately processed by machines for real-time decision-making is key to the next generation of robotics. The traditional method of data collection in robotics was clunky and often too abstract. But now, with the ARIA system, we've reached a point where machines are getting smarter in real time, learning from their environment as it changes and making decisions on the fly. And here's where it gets even more interesting. The vision for these glasses isn't just to serve elite researchers. By designing this technology to be out-of-the-box ready, Meta has effectively opened the doors for anyone to contribute to this evolving ecosystem. This kind of accessibility in data collection is vital because it means the global research community can now play a part in refining and enhancing robotic capabilities. The more diverse the data, the more robust the model, And that, in turn, accelerates progress in real-world applications, from autonomous vehicles to industrial automation.
With Project Aria, we reimagined a wearable device with a sensor suite that could perceive as you perceive, and in doing so enables the development of a new generation of artificial intelligence that has a better understanding of who you are and makes possible new advancements in robotics. Project Aria, from the outset, was designed to begin a revolution around always-on, human-centric computing. We're excited to announce the next step in our journey, the second generation of Aria glasses.
With Gen 2 glasses, we are building AI capabilities with a deeper understanding of the wearer's context and the environment.
Aria Gen 2 is the perfect tool for researchers pushing the boundaries of AI and AR.
What you see here is the same as this. We have upgraded the sensor suite with additional computer vision camera for enhanced location and embodied tracking. We have increased battery capacity by over 40% without a weight increase. The device features a contact microphone and spatial microphones. It can distinguish between your voice and those of bystanders. Aria Gen 2 determines your location, both indoors and outdoors. Advanced eye tracking camera tracks your gaze to understand what you're looking at, and tracks your hand to identify the object you interact with, all while monitoring your heart rate for a comprehensive understanding of your well-being.
To introduce the ability to process a lot of the signals on the device in real time.
As soon as you do that, you move away from the context of data collection and processing later.
Then we can start to interact with the user, not just research what might be possible, but actually experience it.
Help me pick up some red onions.
Taking you to red onions. Red onions are here.
Very important parts of Project Aria has been building partnerships with companies and academic research labs that have reach far beyond our own.
We stay committed to research processes that safeguard personal information. The journey with second-gen Aria glasses is just the beginning.
Imagine what the research community can achieve with a device that closes the gap between machine and human perception. Together, we can unlock an understanding of what it is to experience reality as we do.
We often think of technology as something that enhances our lives in obvious ways. Faster computers, sleeker phones, better entertainment. But there's another layer to innovation that we rarely stop to appreciate. The ways in which technology can fundamentally reshape how we experience the world, especially for those with disabilities. The Aria Gen 2 glasses are a perfect example of this deeper impact. For individuals like Sharon Giovinazzo, who lost her vision at 31, this technology is restoring a sense of independence that most of us take for granted. Imagine for a moment losing your sight and the profound effect it has on your daily life. Beyond the obvious physical challenges, there's the loss of autonomy, the constant need for assistance, and the barriers that arise in what should be mundane tasks. Sharon's journey through the grocery store is a personal triumph of doing something so simple, yet so profound, doing it on her own terms. The Aria Gen 2 glasses are bridging the gap between disability and ability in ways we've never seen before. And that's where the real power of this technology lies. The addition of spatial audio is a fundamental shift in how we think about location-based navigation. Traditional sound cues might tell you something is to your left or right, but spatial audio places the sound in a specific space, almost as if you're hearing the world the way it was meant to be heard, naturally and contextually. This is crucial because navigating a store, for someone with limited vision, is about knowing exactly where to go, feeling confident that the directions are accurate, and having the freedom to make independent choices. The Aria glasses take something as simple as picking apples, something that most of us don't think twice about, and make it an exercise in empowerment. The glasses provide her with the information she needs in real time, from the variety of apples available to confirmation that she's holding the correct one.
A woman wearing glasses stands in front of the checkout counters in a grocery store holding a basket on her arm. Sharon Giovinazzo, CEO, Lighthouse for the Blind and Visually Impaired San Francisco.
You know, it's one of those things that you don't know what you got till it's gone. And that was kind of the case with my vision when I lost it at 31.
She navigates through the grocery store.
The challenges that we face, you know, just simply with visual navigation, you lose a level of independence with that.
She holds the leash of a service dog while walking towards an aisle. Karthik Mahadevan, CEO, Envision.
For a lot of people who are blind and have a low vision, independence almost always meant access to information.
A pair of glasses separates to reveal each individual component.
ARIA enables us to combine technologies like artificial intelligence and spatial audio that make the visual world accessible for people who are blind or have a low vision. It was amazing to see how a lot of our feedback was incorporated in building a Gen 2 device, and also by keeping accessibility as one of the focus points.
Prince Gupta, Research Product Manager, Meta.
This is a truly collaborative effort between Envision, Lighthouse San Francisco, and Meta.
Prince and others gather around a laptop computer inside the grocery store.
We really want to go out and co-design with the community and try to learn from their experience. They actually want to try out these technologies. They're really excited.
Sharon and Prince speak to one another in the produce section.
Sharon has been testing these features, giving us early feedbacks. GPS just doesn't work indoors. We need a different mapping and navigation technology.
Owen Brimajoin, Research Scientist, Reality Labs Research, Meta.
Usually when you listen to sounds over headphones, they'll sound like they're inside your head. Spatial audio is a technology that lets you play sounds over headphones that seem like they're coming from a real location out in the world. And all you have to do is follow that sound.
Sharon walks through the grocery store wearing the glasses.
You put the glasses on and you just talk to it like you talk to a friend.
Hey, Meta, help me pick up some apples.
Certainly. Follow the sound to locate the apples in the store.
Sharon follows the sound.
It'll start playing a beacon sound from the location within the store.
The glasses can actually map as they are being used.
We can allocate different points and label it with items that should be there in that space.
Sharon approaches bins filled with apples.
Apples are here.
You can ask any kind of a question.
What apples are here?
They have Granny Smith, Cosmic Crisp, and Honey Crisp apples.
I'll get Granny Smith apples. Help me pick up red onions.
Taking you to red onions.
Sharon and her service dog walk towards the sound. They reach the onions.
Red onions are here.
Is this a red onion?
She holds up an onion in front of the glasses.
Yes, this is a red onion in your hand.
Just to have the freedom to walk into a grocery store and navigate to what I wanted. It was efficient, it was fast, it was just amazing. That's all I need today. Take me to the checkout counter?
Sure, guiding you to the checkout.
Sharon hands her basket to the employee at the checkout counter.
This isn't ready to ship out the door this second. But what's exciting is for how many people this appears to be working really well.
Without these partners, we would have not been able to do what we did today.
The employee hands Sharon her bag of groceries.
Thank you. Have a great day.
When we look at someone like Sharon pick the groceries that she wants on her own, that emotion is incredible.
And that's a wrap. It's incredible to see how these innovations are not just changing lives, but reshaping the way we think about independence and autonomy. The future is looking more inclusive, and it's exciting to witness these advancements firsthand. If you found this video insightful, don't forget to hit that like button, drop your thoughts in the comments, and share it with anyone who might be inspired by this breakthrough in tech. Make sure to subscribe to stay updated with more in-depth analyses and updates on the latest innovations shaping our world.
Project ARIA is a research effort built around the custom glasses you see here that is designed to record high-quality egocentric data, which in turn will enable researchers to advance the state-of-the-art around machine perception and personalized, contextually aware AI. Project ARIA is not in itself an AR device since it lacks a display, and it is neither a product nor a prototype of a product and will not be for sale. It is a research tool, and it is a critical step on the path to live maps and the interface of the future. One way to think about Project ARIA is as an evolution of the methods which were used to build maps in the past. Since the 1960s, satellites have allowed us to map outdoor environments at tremendous scale, but they're limited in the map resolution and freshness they can produce. Low-flying aircraft and car fleets provided data capture at a higher resolution with increased update rates, but they're limited to outdoor environments. Backpack rigs can now map indoor spaces at high resolution, but are unable to fully capture the wide range of environments relevant to our daily lives. Project Aria is the vanguard of the next leap in data capture technology, client-based mapping, which will one day enable anyone with an AR device to build and use live maps wherever and whenever they need to, based on data from their own devices, particularly AR glasses. The use of egocentric data will make it possible to construct higher resolution maps that are dynamically updated at a much higher frequency, and will enable mapping of a far greater spectrum of environments than has been possible with any previous mapping technology. In addition to enabling state-of-the-art research into map building, Project Aria will let researchers explore what data AR glasses will need to capture in actual use, and how AI can most usefully leverage that data to provide personalized assistance. Let's take a look at each component of Project Aria in closer detail. At its heart, Project Aria is an all-day wearable computer and sensor platform with a powerful mobile class processor, all wrapped up in an ergonomic glasses form factor weighing under 70 grams. The device is controlled by the wearer using a mobile companion app, which communicates via an encrypted low-energy Bluetooth link. As Boz noted, once a data sequence has been recorded and the device is placed on charge, data is uploaded to Facebook's research servers and kept in quarantine, meaning it's not made available to researchers. During the quarantine period, participants can delete segments of captured data from the system without accessing the raw data.
Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one, where we continue to explore the technologies that are truly changing the game.